Welcome to MotoGP Mac. In today's video we're going to talk about the practice session that just happened for the Czech Grand Prix at Brno. Now before we get into it, here's how it finished. Marc Marquez topped it from Johan Zarco, Fabio Quartararo, Marco Bezzecchi, Jorge Martin, Jack Miller, Joan Mir, Enea Bastianini, Alex Marquez, Pedro Acosta, Raul Fernandez, Fermin Aldegar, Pecco Bagnaia, Alex Rins, Brad Binder, Fabio Di Gianantonio, Pol Espargaro, Augusto Fernandez, Miguel Oliveira, Aya Ogura, Taka Nakagami, and Luca Marini. Now, it was a pretty wet session, and to be fair on the track, it didn't look the best conditions. It did look pretty greasy. And remember, this is a new surface. There would be an awful lot of oil residue still coming up through it. But, you know, Marc did set the fastest lap. You know, not towards the end of the session. I think it was around lap 12 or so that he set that lap. It was fast, but did he look comfortable or stable? Not really. So it will be interesting to see what they can fix in the setup. Johan Zarco, Fabio Quartararo, you kind of expect them to do pretty decent in the rain, if I'm honest. Marco Bezzecchi and Jorge Martin was really good, and it just shows you Martin's talent, I suppose. You know, he's back in. Yes, it was weather conditions that were not great. You know, it didn't put the stress and strains through the body as a dry track would, but he's straight in and straight on the pace, which is frightening for Marco Bezzecchi, like 0.2 of a second behind him. Good showing from Jack Miller and Joan Mir. You know, again, they really got the elbows down, or, you know, Jack for sure has a fire lit under him to make sure that he is the one that stays in that seat for next year. Joan as well, is good to see him there and thereabouts. Enea Bastianini back from his appendix surgery. I didn't actually think he was going to make it, but he did. Alex Marquez did crash with about 6 minutes or so to go, got back and did get himself into Q2. And Pedro Acosta was the last one into Q2. I would call it steady. Raul Fernandez did a very good job. Fermin Aldegar as well, and not a bad job from him. Pecco Bagnaia in 13th. And you could just see that the bike wasn't working for him. He wasn't comfortable on it. Just didn't have the feeling. While he did have a good feeling in the dry, the wet, similar to the Saxon ring, you could see it way off the pace. Alex Rins, similar to Pecco, way off the pace. Brad Binder, Fabio Di Gianantonio, all not. It was like, while they're not afraid of the wet conditions, don't get me wrong, they just did not have the feel to do it. Pol Espargaro, not a bad session from him, to be fair. Augusto Fernandez as well, wildcarding on the Yamaha. Miguel Oliveira, kind of expected him kind of down here. Aya Ogura did have a big tumble. Was okay after it, and Taka Nakagami and Luca Marini towards the end. A little bit surprised with Marini, but you know, it is what it is. When it is a wet practice, are you really going to push past it? Yes, you would push to get into Q2. When you look at the difference between first and 10th place, it's at 1.2 seconds, and there's a lot sitting in around the 1.3, 1.5 seconds. So look, all still to play for the people outside of Q2 tomorrow. It will be interesting to see how Pecco goes. Definitely pressure is under him now to get towards the front of the grid. But if we have another damp or a miserable day, you know, then that could put pay to any hopes of him for this weekend. But I would definitely love to know your thoughts. What did you think of the Friday practice session at Brno? Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video.